What's up guys, Tech Savvy Buyer here. So a couple of weeks ago I showed you guys how to change your switch cover so that you get this nice chameleon purple blue type case on it. And it was a little bit of a complicated thing. The hardest part by far being the Joy-Cons when you had to go and get all the little ribbon cables and all the buttons out and actually put it over. But a lot of you guys were asking to see if ExtremeRate had made a similar product for a Nintendo Switch Pro controller and an Xbox One controller. So in this video, I'm going to be covering their Nintendo Switch Pro controller kit, and in the following weeks, I'll show you guys the Xbox One S controller kit as well. Now, before we do go ahead and get started, I want to give a huge shout out to ExtremeRate for sponsoring this video and making it possible by sending these products in for me to work with and to actually review. So by the end of this video, what you're going to be able to do is take your original Switch Pro controller from this and change it to look more cool like this. So it's a pretty easy way to do this, guys. This is not complicated at all. The video might be a little bit lengthy just because I'm going to go through and show you detail. I'll fast forward wherever I'm removing screws and stuff, and just pay attention to the dialogue I have because I will be telling you guys important stuff that you need to be mindful of. As you can see, I still haven't removed this little protective film, but you know what? Why not? Now, this was a brand new Pro controller that I had done this modification to, and look how nice this overall matches with the Switch. So you've got a matching Pro controller and a matching Switch set. I'll also leave links in the description below for you guys to pick one of these up. They're super affordable. They're not expensive at all. I think they're around like the $20, $30 price range. So you guys should be fine with buying one of these. Now, the overall process of doing this is not super complicated at all. It is not like the DualShock 4 that I did in previous months, and that was a little bit more of a complicated install. This should be easy enough for anyone. You're not going to be dealing with super tiny ribbon cables. There's only one ribbon cable that you're going to have to worry about, and all the screws are normal size. They are Phillips head screws. They come with an extra bunch inside the kit as well, so you can get that done. But anyways, not to ramble on, go ahead and watch the tutorial, and then I'll catch you guys right afterwards. All right, so let's begin with first unboxing what you actually get in the package from ExtremeRate. I'm gonna go ahead and set my Pro controller aside and crack this big bad boy open. All right, so for starters, you've got your shell that you're gonna be using for the replacement. And you've got two Phillips head screwdrivers with a bunch of tiny little assorted screws that you're going to use as we dig deeper into this video. So I'm going to go ahead and take this out of its packaging, and I will show you guys what to do for step one. All right, so step one is we're going to remove these two screws that are up here. You can see, and that's going to essentially take this piece and slide it off. So we're going to go ahead and do this one real quick. Now that we've done that, you can just pretty much slide these off like that. Okay, you can go ahead and set these aside for now. Now step two, pretty straightforward. Again, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna remove these four screws that are here. You got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, now what we're ready to basically do is lift this off. And you can see I haven't gotten rid of this protection yet, and you'll see why for a second, because I don't need to. But basically, you're gonna start prying this open. Now we have access to the battery. All you gotta do is remove this by pulling it from the side here, and you've got the battery out. This should expose 4 more screws that you're gonna have to remove, and those screws are simply, there's one here, one on this side, and I'll try and zoom in so you guys can see the ones on the inside here, but there are basically one here and one here. Sorry for the brightness there, but there you go. See those screws right here and here? We're gonna have to remove those, so let's do that real quick. Okay, so I've disconnected these 4 screws. Now we're gonna lift this up. Now here's where you gotta be a little bit careful. You wanna make sure that while you're lifting this up, you don't also forget about the bottom screw that's here. Just remember to take that one out. I know I didn't call that out one specifically, but don't wanna forget this guy either. So make sure you get this guy out of the way as well. All right, now that we've removed all the screws, what we're gonna do is lift this off and separate the back from the front. But make sure while you're doing this, you don't pull the ribbon cable that's gonna be exposed underneath this right now. So I've already started opening this slightly. It takes a little bit of pressure, but be patient, you'll get it. And start gently lifting it up, and you're gonna see that ribbon cable right there. So you guys see that ribbon cable? This is the part where you're gonna have to open the flap up very slightly. You can do this with your nail, just be gentle. And you see I just pulled it with my nail and it came up just like that. And you just push this, slide it out of the way. You now can take this part, look at that, inner workings of a Switch Pro controller. That is pretty cool looking, guys. Never thought I'd see this many chips on it, but hey, it's pretty cool. The reason why it sticks is because you've got double-sided tape here. You can see that. And that double-sided tape is what was sticking to this shell. That's what you're feeling the pressure on when you're opening this. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, not to carry on this, let's continue with the next step. So for the next step, we want to remove all the buttons from the front shell. And that's pretty simple to do. All you got to do is get rid of this screw, this one, and this one. So there's a total of 4 screws that you have. Once you remove this entire plate, it's going to lift up. So let me show you guys that real quick. All right, so we got those 4 screws loosened up. Now what we're gonna do is just simply lift this guy up just like that. You see how easily that came out and exposes you to the buttons. So you wanna be careful with this kind of stuff. There is a ribbon cable that's attached, so make sure you don't damage anything. Just gently remove these screws out of the way by tipping it over and essentially just dropping it out, or pushing it from the other side with your finger. And that's what it looks like. You don't want to damage this panel that's in the front. That's where all the buttons actually make their touches. So anyway, set this aside for now. Now, here we have the faceplate. So you guys can probably already guess what we're going to do at this point. What we're going to do is we're going to take our other front shell that's like this. Okay, I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see this. All right, we're going to start by moving all of the stuff from the original one into our new one. Keep it as straight as possible and as easy as possible. And then we'll start by bringing this guy back onto the new shell before we move on to the back half. So go ahead and take your time doing this part. I'm gonna try and fast forward through this so you don't have to sit here and watch me do this, but it's pretty easy and it's pretty straightforward. You guys shouldn't have a problem doing this. All right, so you guys can see I moved everything from the old shell into the new shell, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and bring this piece back, place it on top. And the reason I'm doing this right now at this stage is because I want to make the button secure, because this is probably the most finicky part of the entire thing. So those same 4 screws that you went ahead and removed, you're gonna go ahead and put those guys back into the spots that you took them out from. So let's zoom in a little bit here so you guys get a closer view, and go ahead and set the other shell aside for now since we are done using that. All right, so once you have this part installed, you are pretty much done with all the hard stuff that has to go with doing this install. So I'm gonna zoom out a little bit here so you guys can see a bigger picture. But this is the back shell that we had originally, and you don't actually have to remove anything from this because the other clamp is just gonna go right on top of this after you put the battery in. So you remember this piece that we took off? This is what we're gonna replace with this guy. So makes it super easy. A lot easier than doing the DualShock 4, that is for sure. Now all you gotta do is replace this on top like this, but while you do so, you have to make sure that you clip the ribbon cable back in the spot that we took it. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. And of course, because this is basically gonna be folding in like this, the easiest way to do this is to have the ribbon cable kind of wrap around like this. It's kind of hard to show you guys on camera here, but I'm gonna do the best that I can. But you wanna make sure the ribbon cable goes back inside there. Be extra careful with this, take your time, don't rush it, because if you break this, your controller is garbage at that point. So it's a pretty solid cable, it's not really easy to break, so you gotta really be, stressful on it to break it. So I'm gonna show you guys how I put this in, and typically I like to just hop it up like that, kind of slide this in here. And if you have a pair of tweezers, that's really gonna help you guys, but I don't on me right now, or they're too far. I'm gonna be lazy. I'm just gonna do this by hand. because I've done enough ribbon cables in my life that I actually feel comfortable doing this. All right, and you can see I've got the cable popped right back in where it should be. Now, if you guys have issues with buttons not working or something happening, I guarantee you it's gonna be this part. More than likely you'll mess it. You probably didn't get all the pins lined up exactly. So just keep that in mind. Now that we have that ribbon cable installed, all you gotta do is just pack this thing back up the way we opened it, which means you're gonna start installing those screws back in the same spots. So you remember we took one out from here, one from here, one from here, one from here, and one from here. So go ahead and reinstall those 5 screws, and then we're gonna put the battery back in its place. So I'm gonna do that real quick and show you guys how easy peasy this really is. All right, so now that we've got all 5 of those screws installed, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the battery back in. There's actually a way to do this, which makes it super simple. You wanna try and put it in low and slide it from the bottom, and boom, just pop it in just like that. We're gonna do reverse engineering here. We're gonna pop on our new cover that we have. See that? Look how pretty that looks. And we're gonna put these 4 screws here. These are gonna be the 4 silver screws that you guys removed. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and drop those in. All of our screws are back in place. Now the absolute last step is to slide these back on. So remember when we took these off in the start? We're gonna slide them just the way they're supposed to go and put the last screws that are going in here. And that's it, guys. You have successfully modded your Nintendo Switch Pro controller with a custom skin, or case shall we say, that makes it set apart from other controllers. So you don't just have the plain black one or the Mario design or whatnot. That's all pretty simple, huh? So welcome back, guys. That was a tutorial. I hope you guys found it useful. Let me know in the comments below if it wasn't, or if I missed something, and how I can overall improve my tutorial game for you guys, because you know I like to make tutorials and hopefully they work good for you. Anyways, I do have something special to tell you guys, and it is thanks to ExtremeRate that I have several extra kits available for giveaway. Now, they're not going to be this specific color because they were out of stock at the time that they sent it to me, but we do have a couple other cool colors that I can tell, and I'm not going to show you guys those ones. It's going to be a total surprise. Now, entering this giveaway is super easy. You don't need to go to any crazy link or anything like I did last time. I'm going to try and make this super straightforward. I'm going to randomly handpick a bunch of people that are commenting on this video. So in order for you to be eligible for this giveaway, all you gotta do is comment below with what is your favorite console and what is your favorite game of all time. That's the only thing I need to know. Tell me what your favorite game of all time is and what your favorite console is, and I'm gonna make sure I pick one of you guys. That way I know that you guys actually watched the video to this part so you can enter the giveaway. If you can answer those questions successfully, who knows, I'm going to draw a couple of winners within a week, guys. This is going to be a quick giveaway. I'm not going to waste too much time. You got 7 days as the moment of this video is being live for the time that I go to pick the winners for this. Anyways, I hope this was helpful, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you guys like this kind of content. If you're new to this channel, do consider subscribing. I'm always making content on tutorials, whether it's console related or PC related. In fact, the next couple stringer videos are going to have to do all with the Ryzen 9U CPUs and all that kind of jazz. But anyways, I appreciate you guys sticking to the end of this video. I appreciate you guys giving me the support that you have. Don't forget to smash that like button and that subscribe button. And again, guys, I will see you on my next video. Peace out.